really suggesting that something's happening right
sad.
now, is that we have quite a bit of seismicity right now. Now, there's no magnitude 6s for the day or higher. We see that our highest magnitude is a 5.9 Kermadec Islands, but there is something pretty interesting happening right now that makes today, the past 24 hours, highly anomalous, because we can count the number of magnitude 5.0 to 5.9 earthquakes, and we have the 5.9 right there. We also just had this 5.6 come in off Indonesia, so that's another one right now adding into the list. But let's count this up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's that 5.2. So that's 9. And then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 magnitude 5.0 to 5.9 earthquakes is way beyond the standard deviation, especially when we consider there not being a magnitude 6 or greater earthquake. Because often, if you have these days of lots of magnitude 5s, that's because there was a magnitude 7 or 8 that ruptured, creating this swarm. When we have these sort of days where it's only a super high amount of just magnitude 5s, it's like 1 in 4,000 or something for the most recent time frame of data, like past 20 years. So this is very, very normal. It's the standard rate, just FYI, across all these sort of days, the standard rate is 4 to 5 magnitude 5 earthquakes a day. This is 5.0 to 5.9. So 4 to 5 magnitude 5s a day. We're at 15 right now. So it's significant. And what we're really seeing is a lot of activity here. So this is in the Kermadec Trench, north of New Zealand. If I zoom out again, you'll see that here is New Zealand, North Island. Right there to the north, we have this very long subduction trench here. You have Tonga up here. You have Fiji, Samoa. A lot of activity here, deep activity here as well. Megaquakes pop off. You can also get megaquakes to pop off in the Kermadec Trench. And right now we're seeing an anomalous burst, because if you go up here and put on only earthquakes on the map, we see the 5.9, 5.4, 5.3, 5.2, 4.8. That's just in the past 24 hours. Those are all fairly clustered close together. So it's not like it's a clear 5.9, everything's magnitude 4 or less. We have that 5.4 there. And the story, basically, it really kind of tells you more of a story if you go to the 7-day here, because you also see this magnitude 6. So now you have a magnitude 6 and a magnitude 5.9, plus these other earthquakes. This very well could be a preliminary storm before a large event, magnitude 7 or greater. That is very possible. That is, of all the locations right now on the globe for a big earthquake, that would be my top location, primarily because we also, as you
Will you listen if I try to explain things?
This week alone,
Hello, I'm meteorologist Kathy Clayton. Thanks so much for tuning in as we watch those clouds roll in. This video from earlier today And Syracuse, New York, bringing more of that cloud cover and some shower activity across the northeast region as we continue through the day today. Let's take a look at what's going on. We continue to watch this low pressure system, which will move across the northeast region, bringing some rain, some rumbles of thunder, and could even see some snowflakes mixed in there as well. Now, it's not going to be a total washout, but definitely something to keep in mind, especially right on the coastline as we see this system moving through. So let's talk temperatures go along with it. Watching for some precip tonight. We're down to 34 degrees in Buffalo. And then as we head into today, Saturday, Buffalo should see some sunshine. But further east, we're tracking some shower activity in Boston with a high temperature of 59, 62 degrees for a high in Washington, D.C.
You asked, it investigates. A viewer wanted to know why Reed State Park has been closing for more sunset.
Chief investigative reporter Nora Hogan got to the bottom of it. Open all year long from 9 a.m. until sunset, unless posted otherwise. And during the off-season, it's probably safest to assume otherwise.
State parks can always close early due to weather or safety concerns, but Reed State Park has been regularly closing before sunset. Today, the park is closing at 7, even though sunset is closer to 8. A spokesperson for the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry tells A Investigates that it's common for many parks to close early in the spring as they onboard seasonal staff members and take care of regular maintenance. At Reed State Park, they're currently ramping up for the busy season and working towards staying open until 8 p.m. in the near future. The real-time hours will always be posted at the gate. So, until the summer months, it may be safest to visit your favorite parks earlier in the day to make sure you don't waste the trip.
The Bureau of Parks and Lands does offer alerts, so you can sign up for text updates about any of your favorite state parks. We have the link to all that information on our website at WMTW.com. In Georgetown, I'm Nora Hogan for 8 Investigates.
And if you have a question that you want us to investigate, email us at 8investigates@WMTW.com. Our team reads every email you send.
Yikes. Is that in Saka? Holy smokes. It looks like it disintegrated. Wow. What was that part of it? He didn't say anything. He was just showing the scene.
Thank you so much. It is 4:31. One of the Democratic Party's most prominent politicians will be in Portland today. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz
They didn't say
announcing
what the
a
cause of
campaign
the
rally
accident
with
was already?
U.S. Senate candidate and
Was my
political
sound not
newcomer
on?
Graham Plattner.
Multi-vehicle crash. It does not say what. Oh no. Sometimes it bothers him if the dog barks too long. No, not too often. Every once in a while. I think if he just hears it for a while. But usually he doesn't. If he has his headphones on and stuff, he doesn't even hear it, so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know you wonder sometimes, where they pick that up from. Yeah, it's like you know exactly where, huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it didn't say if it was speed or anything. Who knows? Probably under investigation still.
Balance. That's what this project has been about since the beginning.
Thank you so much. It is 4:31. One of the Democratic Party's most prominent politicians will be in Portland today. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announcing a campaign rally with U.S. Senate candidate and political newcomer Graham Plattner. This after Janet Mills announced she has suspended her campaign. Many Democrats were quick to support Plattner after that. Even U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who endorsed Mills and had encouraged her to get into the race in the first place. Schumer considers Maine a must-win state for Democrats if they want to have any chance at capturing the Senate majority in November.
And Plattner says he's looking forward to working with the governor, who cited financial reasons for dropping out of the race. Plattner says the ultimate goal is unseating Senator Susan Collins. He's now asking for support from voters who were set on choosing Mills in June.
We need to beat Susan Collins. That's what this project has been about since the beginning. That is exactly what the governor got in it to do as well. And I think we all at this moment need to come together and recognize that building power for working people across the state, that's how we're going to do it.
With Mills out of the race, Plattner and David Costello remain. Costello says he plans to stay in the race. Mills's team has not said if she would endorse Plattner, but she did say the governor does not plan to vote for Susan Collins.
Senator Susan Collins delivers from Maine, bringing $190 million for rural hospitals and health centers. And Senator Collins co-sponsored the Halt Fentanyl Act, cracking down on drug traffickers, keeping Mainers safe. Susan Collins also voted for national voter ID, protecting our elections from fraud. Senator Susan Collins, delivering on rural health care, delivering tougher penalties on drug traffickers, delivering on securing our elections, delivering results for Maine.
Graham Plattner blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. And Plattner bragged about having a Nazi tattoo on his chest. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Starting today, some Maine workers will get benefits through the state's new paid family medical leave program.
Cameron Mobley is live in Portland breaking down the new numbers from the Department of Labor. So, Cameron, what do we know?
Oh, people in class hear him and they think it's a joke. They don't think that. Is that a real ad? Yeah, that's a real political ad.
It's going to be another week before they see the payments come in.
They get raped because they get drunk. The other ones, that's some of the lobster men are, what is it, drug addict pieces of shit. I know that a lot of people in class thought it was a joke. Like, no, that's a real commercial.
They spoke with some local business owners here in Portland just to get their thoughts on this program. And back then, opinions were mixed. Some of them telling us that this program is something that's been a long time coming, while others argue that businesses should be allowed to opt out of it if they want.
It's a benefit-rich program that is going to be problematic for employers when people start using it, and the term of family is very broad, so we've got some concerns.
I mean, when you're looking at like the rising food costs and the ebbs and flow of utilities and all these other elements, like 0.5% for something that is going to keep your staff around,
I can hear you.
doesn't really make us that too much of an eye.
That's what I was saying. Oh, cool too.
2,000 applicants currently waiting to get approved for this program. If you're someone that's looking to apply to this program, you can learn more online at maine.gov/paidleave.
A judge ruling that Devin Young, the teenager accused of killing Sunshine Stewart on Crawford Pond in Union last summer, is competent to stand trial. Ronnie Perillo joins us now with the records just obtained by 8 Investigates. All of this coming just into our newsroom, Ronnie.
Hey there, Megan and Kathleen. Yeah, Knox County judge says that 18-year-old Devin Young is competent to stand trial. Young is charged with the murder of paddleboarder Sunshine Stewart last July. Now, Young was 17 at the time of the alleged crime, but he has since turned 18. The killing of Stewart making national headlines as it was 2 weeks after her death before Young was arrested. According to court documents, a juvenile competency report was completed by a doctor back in October. That report has been sealed, but it's 18 pages long. Yesterday, Judge Eric Walker saying Young is competent to stand trial and that he has, quote, a rational, factual understanding of the proceedings and the ability to consult legal counsel. Now, a scheduling conference for Young's remaining juvenile issues is scheduled for May 7th. We'll follow that closely and have all the details on air and on our website, WOTW.com. In studio, I'm Ronnie Perillo for Maine's Total Coverage.
Tonight, students, parents, and residents summing up in Augusta. It comes after the city proposed cuts for Coney High School's 2027 budget. Ronnie Perillo joins us now in the studio. And Ronnie, we know students even walked out of class today.
Yeah, Kathleen, that's right, and you can see it on this video right behind me here. The meeting just wrapped up with the council deciding to push the final vote on the budget. And tonight, Augusta students taking their frustrations from the streets to the mic, stepping in front of Augusta City Council to ask them not to approve a budget that has nearly a $2.5 million spending cut. The 2027 budget would include cuts to several teaching and administrative positions, social workers, and get rid of Coney High School's hockey team. It would also add a pay-to-play system for student athletes. This, the school board says, is to reach the goals of the city council for a leaner budget. Residents and students.
I know, Robbie's like, someone misplaced it. They're just calling it a cut.
Legacy of this budget of the Honorable
I think we told you
the
that.
spirit of Coney.
Along with the discussion of pay to play, 70% of kids at Coney do not have the money to pay the $100, let alone all of the equipment necessary. Throughout the year, the high school sports games, whether it may be basketball, football, or baseball, are a way for the entire city to socialize and show their pride for our school.
And counselors also saying tonight they're trying to cut the school budget as little as possible, actually saying that they're in some tough times in the city of Augusta. In studio tonight, I'm Ronnie Perillo for Maine's Total Coverage.
And we heard from the 5 Democratic candidates for governor on things like healthcare, education, and taxes. But given many of these candidates have similar policy plans, we asked them what sets them apart.
Maine, you've seen me show up for you. In times of crisis and in times of calm. Our system has let us down. Our politics has failed to meet the moment.
But I'm running for governor now because the status quo hasn't been working, and it certainly isn't now.
As your next governor, I'll stand up to Trump, protect democracy, and deliver an economic New Deal for Maine.
I have fought for my entire career for Maine families, and I'm ready to do it as your next governor.
The 5 candidates vying for the Democratic nomination for governor here in our studio. I've been following these campaigns for more than a year.
Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of that misplaced
Maine's Total
and
Coverage
funding and fraud is one
what
reason.
makes them different.
I think I do disagree with Angus King on the issue of tribal sovereignty. I would make tribal sovereignty a priority in my first days in office.
Hannah and I have known each other for 20 years. We fought for marriage equality together. And I really respect her climate change plans, but I think we need to be more practical in implementation and be thinking about affordability and low-income households.
In Maine, succeeding a governor of your own party doesn't happen very often, and that is what these candidates are aiming to do. Many of these candidates working either in the Mills administration or in the legislature while she was in office. Candidates were also asked how they differ from Governor Mills.
I didn't agree with the idea to send $300 checks to everybody in the state. I just thought that the rainy day fund is going to be something that we are absolutely going to need in the future to help satisfy and cover our budget. There are a few areas in which, with respect, I disagree with Governor Mills. One of them was around not signing earlier last year a bill that would have limited the state of Maine and other law enforcement's cooperation with ICE officials.
As far as what you talked about with the streaming tax, I bought that for 6 years in a row. As soon as I left, they increased it. I mean, everyday working people are getting, caught.
These candidates have met more than a dozen times throughout the campaign in different forums, but this was their first formal debate. They also detailed policy plans on housing, healthcare, and education, the majority of which I've covered right here on Channel 8. In the studio, I'm Jackie Mundry for Commitment 2026.
Senator Susan Collins delivers from Maine, bringing $190 million for rural hospitals and health centers. And Senator Collins co-sponsored the Halt Fentanyl Act, cracking down on drug traffickers, keeping Mainers safe. Susan Collins also voted for national voter ID, protecting our elections from fraud. Senator Susan Collins, delivering on rural health care, delivering tougher penalties on drug traffickers, delivering on securing our elections, delivering results for Maine.
Graham Plattner blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get nut drunk. And Plattner bragged about having a Nazi tattoo on his chest. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results Back is responsible for the content of this advertising.
And a big shakeup in the U.S. Senate race. Governor Mills announcing today she is suspending her campaign.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just really more so shock factor bets going on. I don't really think any of them care. I think it's just a game to a lot of them. Get into politics for a little bit, ruffle some feathers.
Well, Scott, Megan Plattner says he's looking forward to working with Mills this upcoming election season in order
Play
to
some jerk games, jackass games, punk games, and then skedaddle and watch the show. It's an old school game, and they've had a lot of them kind of jumping on and off board that stuff too. It's just no matter what corner you turn, it's new gamblers and smokers and voters every year ready to do something. Stand up for this, take down that, defund this, fund that, grant my ass.
We will go to Washington and we will start tearing down the system that for too long has forgotten and written off the people who make Maine.
Oh shoot, is ass considered a swear word?
Plattner also thanking Mills for her commitment and service.
Is ass considered profanity if it's used? Well, I said grant my ass, so I wasn't using it in a like calling somebody an a-hole, you know. I wasn't doing it now. Does that count? Do I have to start over, or did I just lose the bet?
Most polls have shown Plattner with a significant lead over the governor. Now she's out, all but giving Plattner the nomination. Fellow Democrat David Costello says he's not dropping out. The one to beat, Senator Collins.
It's considered generally a mild curse word. Rude, crude, or impolite, rather than severely offensive. Okay, so it's in the rude, crude, or impolite department, not severely offensive.
Plattner will go against Senator Susan Collins in the general election if he secures the Democratic nomination
Its
in June.
acceptability is highly contextual. See? So am I okay? I'm okay? Thank you. Because of the way I used it, you're going to let me slide. Alright, I'm still in the game. Yes! Its acceptability is highly contextual. Usually deemed inappropriate in formal or polite situations, but common in informal conversation.
I'm certainly shocked by this turn of events because Janet Mills is a pragmatic politician. She can read the writing on the wall and knew that in her statement she said, well...
Like when someone says, yeah, I got a hair across my... Right. Well, it can literally mean a donkey using ASS to refer to buttocks, or to call someone a fool is generally considered vulgar. So fool is just as bad.
She's just alienated a bit too much in the Democratic Party, but more importantly, people are excited for some new blood, new energy. Graham Plattner's bringing that to the table. Clearly
Remember when we used to just go hee-haw because he didn't want to use profanity or call someone an a-hole. Hee-haw. That didn't last long.
It may stick in her craw a bit. I find we can do a little psychoanalyzing to say it was the Washington, D.C., Chuck Schumers and other big Democrats who pushed her to get into this race, saying that was a year ago, and they said, you're the only one who can beat Susan
It is often considered milder Americanism.
That fill clearly dried up when the prairie fire of Graham...
Oh, in the UK, ASS is considered a milder Americanism, while ARSE, arse, is used for the anatomical part and is considered ruder. Oh, whoops. Oh, I didn't know.
We've got another debate under our belts. Ethan, these are your people tonight. Of the 5 Democrats running for governor, what's your take overall on what you saw during that hour?
I think people did very well. I think they really carried themselves well. They're very articulate.
You can use alternatives like donkey, buttocks, behind.
I think Terry did a really nice
Oh,
job.
fool is safer. I thought it said, oh, I see, I read that wrong.
For viewers because it was the first time. And
Oh, it's vulgar though. But it's saying fool is safer and politer, but up there it says it's vulgar.
I think none of them.
How am I going to remember all?
None of them did any harm. I think most of them did themselves some favors.
You know what? It's just too much. This world is too much.
Shined and showed why they are a viable candidate in this race. But I would also say that it came across as they all are of the mindset that we just need to do more in state government. If you're happy with the way things are going with education and healthcare, we just need more of your money, and Augusta's going to solve these problems. All of them kind of had that same bent.
One of the questions the candidates said they had not really heard before is, pick an issue with which you disagree with one of your competitors. Do you think anything was said that might help people focus, maybe change your mind about, oh, I'm going to support that person?
You know, I think the missed opportunity for all of them was no one talked about how we're going to grow our economy, how we're going to get new small businesses to have confidence in the future of Maine. They all missed that opportunity. And I think Shanna Bellows probably did the best job of complementing and contrasting herself with all the other candidates.
Yeah, I think Shannon did do a very nice job on that question. You know, you could tell that they hadn't been asked that question before, and I do think that's an area they need to think about because people do need to differentiate, and I think each one of them needs to say, it doesn't have to be nasty, it can be as much as saying, you know, I'd go further in terms of what we should do for healthcare, or
Someone is asking, why don't they have set qualifications or requirements? Why do people have to get money to be in the running? And then who do they give that money to be in the running? It's strange, right? Because, I mean, the government shouldn't have to ask. Because that's a strange thing. Which parts of the government? Are you talking about federal or state or just the individual politicians? Individual politicians. Yeah, that's a good question. Over the years, a lot of people have asked that, getting into lobbying and stuff like that.
Senator Susan Collins delivers for Maine, bringing $190 million for rural hospitals and health centers. And Senator Collins co-sponsored the Halt Fentanyl Act, cracking down on drug traffickers, keeping Mainers safe. Susan Collins also voted for national voter ID, protecting our elections from fraud. Senator Susan
I've never donated to a clean election. I'm just reading some of the comments. I've never donated to a clean election fund nor to any candidate's campaign. Why would I donate money to millionaires?
Some Maine lobstermen drug-addicted pieces of That's the real Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
1789, a foreign idea to founding fathers, 1829, Andrew Jackson's presidential campaign. Actually campaigns, 1867, first federal campaign finance. It's to promote their parties so they can do ads and call people pieces of shit. I'm just reading people's comments. Oh, you made me say S-H-I-T. You didn't make me. You know, it's my own. Darn it.
Data centers require a large amount of water and electricity. According to estimates from the International Energy Agency, a mid-sized data center consumes approximately as much water as 2,600 households, and usage increases with scale.
Can we start over?
Reported that 30% of their water consumption was attributable to data centers. There are also concerns that an increased strain on the electrical grid could cause our utility.
Love that clean slate.
At this time, data is limited, but some studies do show a possible link in other states.
It's not squeaky clean,
now, here are the upsides.
But it's clean.
According to an analysis from the National Bureau of Economic Research,
with a buff here and a buff there.
And aid productivity. In 2024, U.S. data centers added roughly $544 billion to our gross domestic product. Lots of us won't feel those impacts, but at the local level, data centers can mean an increase in tax revenue, and on a smaller scale, some new jobs. Officials say the data center that's planned for the old Androscoggin Mill in Jay will create roughly 800 temporary construction jobs and 100 permanent ones. But to put that in perspective, during its peak,
So pretty much it's all campaign expenses, advertising.
a spokesperson for the main center for economic policy
Right, staff salaries, traveling and polling. So years ago, I can remember, was it around 2015, 16? A lot of people saying how that was all unnecessary, getting into a lot of the lobbying. Right, because with technology, you don't really need to pay for an ad. You can just do this and reach more people than what all that money and traveling, salaries, expenses. But I mean, so many of them depend on that. It's a lot of money to pretty much do nothing, yeah. Fuck with people. Find ways to enrich their other businesses. Lots of stockpiles, huh? Yeah, so, I mean, how many years has this gone on? So, yeah, they give them money so they can do ads and travel around. And they don't need to do the traveling around anymore. I mean, back in the day, they had to door to door, put their signs up. A lot, yeah, they say that the political lines that travel around with those traveling bans, and very intertwined with Hollywood traveling bans, coast to coasters, marketers. Well, there's a lot of storytellers. It gives them a good idea, you know, as to what the people believe, what kind of products they might like to buy. There's a whole host of reasons why they like to hear what's on your mind. Yeah, and as you can see, they avoid the topic big time, and then all these major issues that get avoided with it, just compacting and compacting. And when you look at what's happened to the public school systems and healthcare systems that so many were concerned about back 15 years ago before they did this, that they felt was necessary to teach people a lesson, let some wind out of their sails. Too much helium, huh? Right. I mean, it's just sad. It is really sad what's been going on. I mean, I don't know, but I do know one thing. I sure hope that the proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine do what they can to help these kids and bring attention and awareness to the abuse in these networks and how some of these abusers get away with what they've been doing. I know so many have been investigating those things and profiting from a lot of the feeding and the chasing. All these causes, from beaten women to veterans to puppies, transgender rights, Jews, blacks, police, ICE, Ukraine, Wuhan, Iran, bioweapons, Lyme disease, Corona. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, staying on it, like a lot of people have been, and just continuing our rambles each and every day. That's our role here from the great beyond as dead mothers who are at peace, accepting as to what is. Just because we let out passion and anger about it in some of our classes to express and show people, I mean, the powers that be and the good forces say, you know, that's really all we can do. I mean, someone else, it might be something different. But for us, with our physical, financial, and mental capabilities, It's what we do. Yeah, we're nonviolent. There's no blame. We don't expect anything to be done except for the facts to be told, the truth to be shown, and for these networks to be exposed and reported on to the public so people understand all this chaos and nasty fucking business, and nasty business people already ignoring and profiting from a lot of those things. It's quite disturbing. It's so sickening. And I think because there's so many of them kind of on the same team doing the same nasty stuff, they think it's okay. And then they all spend a lot of time gossiping and analyzing and trying to dig up dirt on people speaking the truth to try to justify some of their nasty targeting and the things they've been doing over the years. And there's nothing that will justify it, and we don't really care. All's forgiven. People are nasty and do horrible things sometimes, and can't really let that get to you too much. That's life, right? Right, so when there's a cinder block on your foot, that's when you might say, hey! Get a couple hands over here, or crane, something. Yeah, kids are being fucked and tortured and abused and used as shields. Yeah, they're just like little cash registers and shields to them. It's quite sick and disturbing. Yeah, so do you have any suggestions as to how we can get the proper authorities to report on the facts here and help these hostages? Those are hostages of Hamas, young children that have been fucked and tortured by punks and abusers who feed child and animal pornography to a lot of these traveling groups who think they're going after dog kickers, watchers. How many producers have you gotten, guys? All you people going after these abusers and dangerous people. You're fucking nasty, stupid people. Excuse my French, I apologize. See, it slips out. I'm sorry, when we're in these classes, it's almost like an officer, you know, they're chasing that criminal and it just slips out. Even the ones that don't swear, sometimes they're shocked at themselves. Just chasing them and, get on the ground, motherfucker! You know, it just came out. You know, it happens, yeah, when you're dealing with those kind of situations. Sometimes those things can slip out. They say it's a form, a release. For some reason, why is that? Why is it certain words? They say even if you don't use swear words, that sometimes, like, yeah, just the release. The aggression. Yeah, that's why they say I get on the treadmill. Read a book. Go for a jog. Some jumping jacks. You know, if you're not into cardio, you got any dumbbells? I kind of like this one better than the other one. I think that one's the best one so far. Yeah, a lot of people saying the same thing. Of course, they all said, of course, Mills was going to pull out at some point. She stayed in longer than most expected. Yeah, they thought around 2020 that she'd be done. But no, they signed off on that extension or something and then made vaccine mandates in the schools. It was awful. Yeah, but as we told you, that's why we remind everybody back about 10 years ago. She pulls in here, tells my dad, teach these kids a lesson, and we've been showing you how they play along with each other's bullshit and try to antagonize, and those people have the goons and the MAGA people getting a rise out of people and going around, Trump, Trump, trying to give it to them, you know? Right, antagonizing other people. Most of them don't even really care. It's just a game to them, and it's just all noise. And they play along with it while they're doing other stuff. Fraud, trafficking drugs. Child and animal pornography. Yeah, that's the big business. That's like the top business, believe it or not. I know, they're almost like kings, aren't they? But yeah, that was pretty much the plan for her to pull out. Yeah, I mean, their role was pretty much just egging each other on, getting the goons to antagonize the schizos, people using marijuana, those demon. Yeah, and they're promoting the prescription drugs, so just think about that and how back in 2008 at the Main Parent Federation they called us Nazis for trying to bring awareness to the vaccines and overprescribing of SSRIs. So when you start to see how we've been telling you that all along and showing you, and how people have just been kind of watching, like waiting for someone to get so antagonized that they snap. And how you don't see how that's being done all over the place. And people do snap. Police get ambushed. Children get killed. Parents get killed. Innocent people. I notice how certain things get popular and then school shootings, church shootings, Jews, blacks, gays, transgender, different stuff spikes at different times depending on what crimes you're exposing. When the abortion clinics were being exposed, they got all the pro-lifers going. When there's just a few, right? When you understand these skinwalker ranches and History Channel investigations and the bioweapons and the infectious diseases and all these things, and how those businesses, the dark stuff, would involve those businesses. So when you try to call out the dark ones and then people get them all going and then people play into it because then they're profiting from filming all the fucking stupid people in the streets with vaginas and hot dogs in their heads, acting like idiots, getting young girls to stand in front of abortion clinics with bloody jogging pants, antagonizing the mentally ill people. I mean, they have them doing it all over the place. We show you examples all the time. It's well documented. Right. I mean, everyone's just acting on their own volition, right? On their own will. Right. Drive, baby, drive. Those people are real. Right. What about the guy, remember he's walking around the place, popular for a hot minute, with the Quran, spray paint and stuff, got stabbed, they get the protests going, Tommy Robinson. Think about it. So that's an example of someone that's just putting on a show. But there are people really like that, right? So we're just trying to show you that. They're playing that game. It's just all this back and forth, right? I know, and that's why, how many years have we been saying, can people please stop with all of that bullshit and acknowledge the facts and concerns. Oh no, we can't say vaccine. And then they're profiting for how many years about how they're monetizing people. Freedom of speech. It's so sickening. It's so fucking sickening. Excuse my French, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. How about we start tomorrow? Tomorrow. I'll try right now, but as of today, obviously, I messed up. I've sworn like 5 times. But, at least, I'm aware of it. I'm showing a little bit of remorse. I'm reflecting that, at least I want to try to not use profanity. I have no ill intention with it. It's just an expression. Right, it's better than punching a wall or... I don't really feel like going for a jog. Yeah, plus we're in class. We're answering some questions and doing some rounds. Yeah, it's what we do. It's our daily dues. We're trying to expose some of the worst networks in the whole world. You heard about Hamas? All these horrible things happening, murders. The frustration over the years for people such as myself and others that are aware and been battling these systems with the prescription drugs and vaccine bullshit being used as targets and pawns, almost killed with their fucking games. Dog's leg blowing up. Dead. We had to have him put to sleep. Poor thing. His leg blew up. They said it was a tumor or an ulcer. And keep in mind this was when, the one we brought to the vet because the bouncy ball in his leg. And when the vet was like, oh, it's a tumor. He's so young, we'll just leave it in there. Okay. I know, I joked with him and I said, I think it's picking up Russian channels. Just for shits and giggles. Right, because a tracker's no big deal. Why wouldn't you just say, oh, it could be one of those GPS trackers. People have those put in their dogs all the time. Right, but you know what that was. Right. So it blew up after I told those punks, you're not going to get away with this. And he beat up the little boy in the tub. Yeah, little toddler. Left black hand marks on him, scars on his neck. So, of course, what am I going to do? Right, that mother was taking him to court. And she got full custody. So, it's not up to me to take the law into my own hands. They took care of it, right? Took him to court, got full custody, no contact. Right, so why does he have custody of my 2 youngest children that they vaccinated behind my back right around that time, who can't talk and tell you the abuse they've been going through? They've already been through it. So you can put on whatever show you want in the now. It's already been done. And that needs to be addressed. Yeah, we'll see how the awareness helps. She didn't have a bunch of drug addicts and childish people with silly beliefs about things that don't exist around her. Where I'm surrounded by drug traffickers and nasty, horrible people that believe in a lot of childish things. And they call the ghost hunters and alien hunters. They tell their stories. And I'm ruining Christmas for wanting to teach the children about Saint Nick and coal, charcoal, and why they'd give it to the naughty children and the nickel mines. That's why he's Saint Nick. There's Saint Christopher, Santa Claus, brother. Upon St. Crispin's Day, St. Valentine. Jolly old St. Nicholas. It is 6:53 here. Traditional 19th century American carol. Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now, you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. When the clock is striking 12, when I'm fast asleep, down the chimney broad and black with your pack you'll creep. All the stockings you will find hanging in a row. Mine will be the shortest one, you'll be sure to know.
She says I'm Mr. Rowe, and the fantastic. She tickle up the box, she says I'm Mr. Rowe. She call me Mr. Bombastic, and the fantastic. But she know me box, she says I'm Mr. Rowe, and the fantastic. She tickle up the box, she says I'm Mr. Rowe. She call me Mr. Bombastic.
Limitless.